This area hadn't had a direct hurricane hit in 20 fucking years. I was on this beach day one after the hurricane waters receded. This is why we were bearish on insurance companies after Hurricane Ian, because something was different. Insurance companies screw people over. These things are written in a way that makes it so difficult to get a payout, but insurance companies make so much goddamn money. The difference with Ian, it's fucked. It's a fucked system, guys. This is why we were bearish on insurance companies after Hurricane Ian, because something was different about Hurricane Ian than all the other hurricanes. And I'm going to show you why. It's going to piss you off, but it's the truth. So remember when Hurricane Ian hit and it was hitting, and we said that this is going to be very bearish for insurance companies. Why is Hurricane Ian, and those of you guys that were in the morning call, and we talked about today that if there was going to be a downside play today, it was going to be Allstate for sure, and maybe some of the others. Why was Ian different? Because Ian hit where rich people live. Okay? Other hurricanes have hit the Gulf Coast. The Gulf Coast is one of the poorest places in all of America. So Mississippi, Southwest Georgia, the bayous of Louisiana, Alabama. Yeah, sure, Biloxi had some casinos, but casinos, the people who live around casinos aren't generally the cream of the crop when it comes to insurance buying. So insurance companies screw people over because oftentimes when you get home insurance and you buy flood insurance, there is lots of fine print. And one of those fine prints is that storm surge from a hurricane does not count as flooding. Fun fact, that doesn't always count as flooding, depending on your insurance policy and how it's written. Rain-induced flooding from tributaries and rivers and lakes and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying in every case, but that doesn't always count in flooding. Sometimes these things are written in a way that makes it so difficult to get a payout. Or think about it like car insurance. When you're poor and you can't afford car insurance, what do you get? You get minimum protection because it's required. But you don't get comprehensive and collision. So if someone else hits you and it's their fault, you're covered. But if you hit somebody, it's your fault, you total, anything like that, you're not covered. You couldn't afford the premiums. You couldn't afford that monthly premium for comprehensive collision. So you're actually out of pocket even more money. That's why most people that get into accidents just dump the car. They don't fix it because it costs more to fix than it is worth going to the insurance. Plus your insurance goes up. So when the hurricanes hit these poorer areas, these people get absolutely fucked. They get government assistance, but that always dries up. There's a lot of fraud. It goes away really quickly. But insurance companies make so much goddamn money off of poor people because they collect all those premiums and then don't pay them out shit at the end because there's always some fine print or there's some overhead copay or something like that. So when all those hurricanes slammed into some of these lower income areas, the federal government had to come in with the aid. The insurance companies fucking pawned that shit off. Or if FEMA came in and covered the difference, and so insurance companies were like, oh, we're getting our money back, whatever. The difference with Ian is that Ian hit Boca Chica, not Boca Chica, sorry, Bonita Springs, up to Tampa, along the coastline. This is where a lot of money lives. This is retired people. This is families that wanted places, because remember, this area hadn't had a direct hurricane hit in 20 fucking years. Lots of close calls, but no major hurricane hits. A lot of money. Now, what do rich people do? They insure everything. So these insurance companies, which usually don't have to worry because rich people don't generally put themselves in dangerous areas, right? Like long-term money doesn't generally put itself in there. That's why you have a lot of money in Miami, but it's in small apartments and some big houses and it's up to code, but they're insured out the fucking ass, right? You generally don't put yourself in those dangerous situations, okay? So now, when the hurricane hit and it took out all of these rich areas, took out Sanibel Island, Captiva. I was on this beach day one after the hurricane waters receded. I showed you guys the picture of the fucking guy that's part of the Walton family that owns Walmart and his fucking $750,000 worth of cars that were destroyed. It was all multi-million-dollar homes and mansions. These people were insured. And they have the insurance to cover this stuff because they can afford it. So now these insurance companies aren't going to be able to just go out there and, you know, get screw over these people. They're going to have to pay out. And these claims are huge. And because these people don't oftentimes qualify for federal aid because of their income, they're not going to, these insurance companies aren't going to get paid from those federal grants either. So guess what? That's why we said this is probably going to be very bearish for insurance companies. And sure as shit, Allstate was the first one to report, and the claims are just still coming in, and they dropped 12% overnight. So that's why we said if the market turns at any point today, I'm going to be looking to the downside of insurance companies. Because even though they already got bled out, these other insurance companies, people are scared. That's the thing. This is just like Bernie Madoff. We've talked about it before. We'll talk about it again. Why did every single person and entity get a fucking bailout in 2008, but Madoff went to jail? Because Bernie Madoff made the one mistake you don't do. Fuck over rich people. That's the one thing you don't do. You wipe out $1 trillion worth of fucking working class people, steel workers, teachers, firemen, police, public servants. You get a fucking bailout and you get to go again. You fuck over Kevin Bacon and some other rich people, you go to prison for 80 years. Insurance companies, unfortunately, for them, the hurricane hit rich people, and they gotta pay. Because what are they gonna do? You think they're gonna make the same mistake Madoff did and try to screw over those rich people? Nope. Because they're fucked if they do. Imagine 1 million people in that area with a net worth between 500,000 and 50 or 500 million decide to do a lawsuit against them. They'll lose way more money than they will paying out. And you know what they'll do? They'll scam all the people that don't have that money in that same area and probably raise their premiums to make up for it. It's fucked. It's a fucked system, guys. I live in Nepal, and I bought a stock which has a dividend yield of 9. Is it a good buy? Does that mean you bought a cow and it comes with 9 udders? Like, what do you mean by that? If you have a cow and it has 9 nipples, that's 9 like dividends, right? Because you get... Never mind, I'll just stop.